HealthSource RI has just begun another year of offering health insurance to unemployed Rhode Islanders and to working Rhode Islanders without health insurance through their employers. But its future is uncertain. Legislative leaders, including House Speaker Nick Mattiello, have suggested it may be cheaper to just shut HealthSource RI down and go with the federal online Obama health care program. Mark Murphy, the editor of the Providence Business News, joins us this noon hour. There's a story in this week's edition of the newspaper that deals with HealthSource RI as it was discussed at a recent forum the newspaper sponsored.
Yeah, so we talked about the two things, the effect of the Affordable Care Act on health care itself, and then secondly, specifically HealthSource RI. You know, what's going to happen going forward?
Well, what is going to happen?
What's unclear. You know, one of the things that's going to come out this week in the governor's budget is going to be a plan for how to fund HealthSource RI, because up until now, you know, the federal government has really been picking up the tab, but the feds are expecting that each of the states that has their own exchange has got to come up with a regular funding formula, which didn't happen when HealthSource RI was set up, because it wasn't set up through legislative action, but rather through a governor's order. Yeah,
Governor Chafee did that. And there are 16 states, according to your article, that have their own computer online systems for providing this. Let's take a look at some of the numbers also included in this newspaper article. $150 million was received in federal money, right, for HealthSource RI. $87 million's been spent so far, which means they have more money to spend, but maybe not that much.
Well, you know, it's unclear. The spending is two types of spending. One is the build out of the system, which is very complex. And, you know, even though it didn't have, it ran pretty smoothly compared to the federal exchange, which, as we all know, when it opened was a disaster.
Or the Massachusetts exchange, for that matter.
Exactly. So Rhode Island actually did a very good job of it, but it cost a lot of money to set up. And then there are the operations, and there are startup costs for any you know, any kind of enterprise that you don't then have to replicate down the road because you've got systems in place.
So what's the best guess, if there is such a thing, about its future?
Well, there's no question to the governor through Anya Rader-Wallach, who's the new director of HealthSource RI, wants to keep the exchange being state-run, and part of the reason is there's now another challenge to the Affordable Care Act in the Supreme Court, in which the federal subsidies for people who aren't well off may not go to people through the federal exchange. You may have to have a state-run exchange in order for those less well-off folks to get insurance through the exchange. So that's only one reason. The other is just keeping all the mandates that Rhode Islanders like in their health insurance in effect.
And there's much more about this in today's Providence Business News. Mark Murphy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Frank.
That's our Money Watchers Business Lunch this Monday afternoon. Join us